and it.
It's the mayor. Welcome to Showface News. You can call me what you want. Just don't call me woke. You're not rocking with the town favorite. Showface News is Big Gotham. Everybody knows the town versus everybody at all times. The real New York mayor, Eric Adams, but all the way from Flushing, Queens, we got the one and only Sue Young. Stop playing, gang. Let's get to it. And that's word to Sue Young. Make sure y'all hitting the like button and sharing the video, gang. There's been a lot of controversy, a lot of questioning, champs. Did the Memphis Police Department, were they the ones that tried to get rid of Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother? Are they the ones that tried to get rid of Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook? My fault. Did they do it? Or are they responsible? Here's what I gotta say about that, champ. I don't know if they're responsible, but people keep saying this vehicle right here proves that MPD are the ones solely responsible for trying to smoke Big Jook, champ. Now look, I'm not saying that it's impossible for the Memphis Police Department to be the ones who are responsible for getting rid of Big Jook. But one thing I'm going to say is this. The Memphis Police Department was acting weird when young Dolph passed away. Do y'all remember that? When young Dolph was trending, when young Dolph's murder was being investigated by social media, we found out a lot of things about the Memphis Police Department and how crooked they are. In fact, we also found out that Yo Gotti had someone who he was related to working with the Memphis Police Department as well. Now, could there be some type of backdoor behavior? I don't know, gang. I don't know, champs. But here's one thing that I do know. Rick Ross believes that he is going to save the city of Memphis in this insane time that Memphis is in right now. Rick Ross believes that he is going to somehow make changes to the insane environment that has been created in the city of Memphis in Tennessee, champs. I want y'all to hit the like button and share the video, gang. It's the mayor. Look at this.
5,000 role models where we...
Hold on. Let's run that back. My fault, gang.
I'm heading to an event titled 5,000 Role Models where we acknowledging the young leaders, the young kings, our young brothers. We got to empower the brothers. And while I'm speaking on this, our brothers in Memphis, I need y'all to know it's only one way to wisdom and wealth, and that's through each other. You understand? Through each other. Put the ski masks down, put the guns down. Let's embrace each other now. Let's show that love. Rest in peace to all our good brothers, man.
Okay, champ. Now look, love what you said, champ. I appreciate what you said. You said some great things, gang. Respectfully, you said amazing things, champ. But we talking about Memphis, champ. And I'm gonna be honest with you. After what just happened out there in Memphis, they don't care what you said, champ. In fact, they scrolled past this video. They didn't even look at it, champ. They didn't acknowledge it. They don't care what you said, champ. I agree. The ski mask should be put down. All that. I'm at 1,000% agreeing to what you said, gang. But respectfully, they don't care. They don't care. It's about to get ugly in Memphis. Reality is, Memphis is about to get nasty. Understand. I want y'all to understand this. Big Jook to Memphis is low key what Jay Prince is to Houston. Why? Jay Prince helped and invested into a lot of big Houston, Texas artists, champ. Not only in Houston, but all over the globe. All right? As far as Big Jook is concerned, Big Jook invested into a lot of Memphis talent. Is the anchor to CMG. All right? Big time drug dealer who happened to put a lot of investment into some Memphis talent, Memphis artists. At one point was cool with young Dolph and all that. Facts. But of course, you got to side with your brother Yo Gotti because he beefing with your boy Young Dolph. Now, they say that there was a $60,000 bounty put on young Dolph head by Big Jook as well. That's what they also say, champ. It's saying a lot of different things right now, gang. A lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? But again, you smoke someone who was an anchor to CMG and helped a lot of artists due to his investment, champ. I don't think there's gonna be any peace. Ain't no ski mask being put down. Ain't nothing being put down, champ. The only thing being put down is bodies, allegedly, champ. This is a serious matter. But look what this artist said. I believe, what's his name, Rogue Hero. Hit the like button, shit video. Look what this
man's down, put the guns down. Let's embrace each other now. Let's show that love. Rest in peace to all our good brothers, man.
When I heard that fucked me up, bro. That shit fucked me up. And keep in mind, I said, if I see Jook, if I see Gotti, if I see Migo, or if I see Youngster, I'm gonna get on that ass. This shit ain't got nothing to do with nobody else, bro. I said if I see them folk, because these folk had something to do with it, bro. These folk, nigga don't know that Jook put a hit out, bro. Nigga don't know this shit. You know what I'm saying? But nah, fuck all that, bro. I need to say that. Niggas ain't gonna say that. Nigga ain't gonna tell.
He low key dry snitch with that one. I ain't gonna hold you, gang. I ain't gonna lie, gang. You kind of dry snitch with that one. I mean, again, it only makes sense because he was directly connected to Hernandez Govan, or Govan Hernandez, whatever the man's name is. I've seen the video. Govan Hernandez, he actually has a family that's real deep in Memphis. Like, his family got a history in Memphis of being like big time people in Memphis, which is crazy enough. Remember, he used to be with Little Flip in them, you know what I'm saying, out there in Houston. You know, and then his daughter, Lotta Cash Desto, who was also a rapper who was managed by Little Uzi Vert, ended up getting smoked in Houston. A lot of people believe it was because she did a song with Fulio, and in the song, Fulio was dissing Young and Ace, I believe. And that's a Florida beef. So some people thought that she passed away because she was involved in a diss record towards Young and Ace by Julio, right? But that's really not the case. Lotta Cash Desto is the daughter of Hernandez Govan, who's responsible for getting Young Dolph up out of here. So 9 times out of 10, it could be Dolph's goons that got that get back. You understand what I'm saying? But he says Big Jook put $60,000 bounty on young Dolph head by way of Hernandez Govan, who's directly connected to Big Jook, which only makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I hit the like shit video. Let's continue.
True, bro. Nigga ain't safe, man. Hey, bro, how you gonna feel if a nigga told you, hey, man, look, bro, my Jook put a $40,000 hit on you, bro? Like, nigga, man, come on, bro. I'm standing on that. Bro, I'm not no shake ass nigga, bro.
I ain't gonna lie, gang. You did kind of dry snitch, you right? You did dry snitch. Somebody put $40,000 on Dolph head. Now look, I believe everything you said, gang. Respectfully, I do. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if this video was made. I think this video was made before Big Jook even got touched. Way before that. You dig? You shouldn't have said that. All right? You shouldn't have said that. You know, also, in the same light that you dry snitching, in the same light, you make yourself an accessory because you said you was gonna get at them for doing it. You know what I'm saying? So you dry snitch, but on top of it, you kind of low-key incriminate yourself to a degree because the police are gonna look at this footage, shit, when they look for who actually is responsible. If the police themselves didn't do it, because a lot of people believe that they did it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people believe that the police did it. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The Memphis Police Department is incredibly crooked. And if you was following the Young Dolph case from the very beginning, from the day he passed away, you know that the Memphis Police Department is incredibly crooked and that there's connections within that police force to Yo Gotti and other people, all right? If you know, you know. You dig what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Ronnie Lister says, come on now, this is all black people do is blame the cops, blame the system and never themselves. Shaking my head, you know who killed him? Other black dudes over street beef. Hey, champ, there's black people in the police force. Them police, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, them police ain't no pale police, champ. you also got to understand the police get dirty too, bro. There's dirty cops out here who get down in street business, champ. Especially in the city of Memphis. In a lot of southern cities. Oh, these cops ain't who you think they are, champ. These ain't no pale policemen, champ. These is some police niggas, champ. These are some niggalies, champ. To be exact. These cops ain't pale, bro. These cops ain't the same color as loose leaf, champ. These are some black cops we talking about. We're not talking about no pale police. Now, if you was following the young Dolph case, you would know that these police ain't no pale men, champ. Respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Tracy Harris said Grove Hero made this video a year ago. Okay, see, it was dry stitching, champ, a little bit. All right, kind of dry stitching on it. You know what I mean? Slim said it's black police that kill black people. They don't care. That's a fact. They don't care, champ. They never cared. But honestly, what I'm trying to tell you is this. Guess what, champ? These police that we talking about, you know what I'm saying? These police that we talking about is some black policemen. Some policemen that's from the hood, champ. These are dirty cops we talking about here. You know what I mean? Slim said, Showface, do you remember saying Andrea's police treated CJ? That's some cops aren't in the streets for real. Hey, look. That's a video game, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? They are policemen that get down and dirty. You even got pale police that are part of mobs and mafias and whatnot. You got all types of things that's going on, man. It's infiltration of all types. You know what I'm saying? It's infiltration of all types. So just because it's police don't mean that those are some pale policemen. Those are the ghetto police, champ. These police get down and dirty. These police steal drugs. All right? These police are very, very much criminals, champ. Okay? Hello Word TV says it's a lot of black cops in Memphis. They even know people in the hood. Yeah. I mean, facts over fiction. You know what I mean? He says he made it before he smacked Migo in the airport. Hey, look, he's standing on business. I give him that. He's standing on his word. He's standing on business. But who stood on business the day of that drug dealer's funeral that Yo Gotti and Big Jook went to is the question. All right. So a lot of people are saying that this SUV that I'm about to show y'all is definitely the police car. I don't know, champ. Now, here's one thing I can't believe when it comes to the police, right? One thing about the Memphis police department that I could buy into about this whip is that this is an unmarked Memphis police department cruiser, okay? I can believe that this is a Memphis police cruiser that's unmarked. Maybe they helped them use the car to do it. Maybe some crooked cops out of the Memphis police department gave them an unmarked car to use, but I don't think personally that some Memphis police were the ones that did this hit, a strategic hit that was strategically done. That's one thing I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I'm gonna say. Job Baby says the Scorpion unit did it. They were on payroll. Maybe. But look, here's what I think. You know, I believe that if the police were involved, that they gave them the vehicle to use, perhaps. Because those police out there in Memphis are pretty dirty. And just by seeing the entire Young Dolph saga play out after he passed away, we understand that the Memphis Police Department is definitely getting down and dirty. You know what I'm saying? Period. We just got to accept that fact because there was a lot of twists and turns that just didn't make sense. All right, we know that one of the police chiefs out there is related to Yo Gotti and whatnot, but it wouldn't make sense for Yo Gotti to be doing any backdooring to his brother. To me personally, it just doesn't make sense. Understand that Big Jook is the reason that CMG is what it is today because he invested in all the artists. All right, he got the label started. He was a heavy investor. Again, pretty much a J Prince of Memphis, Tennessee, to be fair. You dig? A lot of people might not know that. Big Jook died at 50 years old. Big Jook is not a young person. Big Jook is 50 years old, so he's been around a while. He's been the one doing all the funding and kickstarting Yo Gotti's career as a CEO and a rapper at the same time. You dig? Hello Word TV says the people who did could have been at the funeral sitting down. They a funeral. It's a funeral for a drug boss of Memphis. I bet there were more bosses there from other areas. Oh, I believe that wholeheartedly that somebody was there who made the call. Now, Big Jook made the mistake of being so comfortable where he was at. All right, he was at the funeral. He was everywhere for long periods of time. Yo Gotti came to the funeral and just left. He was at the funeral, but Yo Gotti left right after. You dig? Big Jook had no strategy. He was just there thinking everything was all fine and dandy. He was comfortable. Allegedly, they say he ran off on a dice game with 30 bands that he owed. Allegedly, they saying he put 40 bands on Dolph's head to get him smoked. All types of things. I really believe that he probably did put that hit on Dolph based on the fact that it's proven that him and Hernandez Govan is connected, all right? It only makes sense. In that department, he also dissed Young Dolph when Young Dolph died, okay? Just facts. You dig? Hello World TV also says the people who did could have been at the... Oh, no, I just read this. I'm thinking it's a new comment. My fault, gang. I thought that was a new comment. My fault, champ. But yeah, you know, I could believe that about Big Jook, but Big Jook got caught slipping because Big Jook got way too comfortable. Ironically so, Young Dolph was also way too comfortable driving through the hood, how he was driving. Not gonna lie. You know, Dolph was way too cozy in Memphis. I mean, bro, you are big time now. You an entrepreneur, you an icon. You know, a lot of people have beef with you too. You know what I'm saying? He knew that too. I don't think Dolph cared. I think Dolph never cared about having ops and cared about if he get hit, he get hit. Dolph done been shot numerous times, more times than a lot of people know. Before he was super duper famous, Dolph was still getting shot at. He always had beef. But Dolph really didn't care. He was fearless. He just kept moving. He didn't care what happened. You dig? Man, one thing I believe, I think it was Nori who said it. I think Nori told him on Drink Champs that, you know, he got to get out the hood. But Dolph didn't care. You know, I believe Gilly and Wallow told Young Thug he need to get out the streets. You know what I'm saying? Some people just never could leave the streets alone because that's all they know is the streets. People like Young Thug, people like Young Dolph are people who literally are just street niggas. And they can't leave the street stuff alone. But Young Thug and Dolph are both very official. R.I.P. Young Dolph. As for Young Thug, I don't know, champ. Hopefully he gets out of that situation he's in. You dig? Salute. Listen, it's crazy out here, gang. I'm just keeping it in the G with you. It's wild out here, but street niggas want to forever be street niggas. It's like you can't take the street nigga out of anyone. For example, Gucci Mane done signed so many people from the streets, and a lot of Gucci Mane's artists under his label have passed away or are locked up for a good while. You dig what I'm saying? A lot of people who were signed to Gucci Mane and tried to change so many street niggas' lives, tried to help them turn their life around. But for some reason, they always end up getting locked up for a long period of time, or they end up getting smoked. You dig? Unfortunately, I'm not going to say Gucci Mane is cursed. I'm just saying Gucci Mane, you can't change these street niggas' habits, champ. Unfortunately, you know, things are just going to go wrong for these people that claim to be official, man. And that's just what comes with the territory, man. If you want to be out here in these streets wilding, there's only two ways you're going to go out. Jail or right below the dirt. You dig? Just reality. Feel what I'm saying? Just keeping it a G. But again, if you want to say the Memphis Police Department had something to do with this, the only way that I could see the MPD actually doing something is them giving whoever did this the unmarked car, the unmarked police cruiser to do it. Perhaps. A lot of people saying that this is a police cruiser in disguise, champ. That's what I'm being, you know, told and what I'm seeing. You dig? Q says Gucci got life insurance policies on all of them. I mean, I don't know. I haven't did that research to know if he did or didn't, you know. A lot of people believe the conspiracy that these labels have insurance money on these artists and they're getting them knocked off. I personally don't believe that, but if you believe that, hey, that's on you. You feel me? I'm not against what you believe in, champ, but I don't believe it personally, me. You dig? Treasure Man says you can't take the street out of some people. No, you can't take the street out of a lot of people. You can't take the street out of a lot of people. Some people are forever crash dummies. Some people think they could mix riches with street life. Some people are rich and want to continue to go in the slums causing havoc. Why are you a rich person getting a lot of money, traveling the world, still wanting to go back to the slums, running down on your ops? You should never ever be able to see your ops again once you made it to a certain level. But hey, this is where they want to be. They want to continue to run down on the ops and have dominance and control on the blocks they grew up in, right? But honestly, like, why? You done seen the world. You see in different places you never got to see before. Why in the world would you want to go back to where you came from in survival mode, trying to knock off your ops still? Kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, champs. You know, you gotta move forward. You gotta progress. Why not move to Calabasas somewhere, champ? Why not move to Calabasas? Why you still wanna be reckless, champ? And by the way, just because you rich and have dominance doesn't mean that you're invincible neither. And that's another problem that a lot of these rappers who used to be street guys or continue to be street guys has. You dig? Young Thug made that mistake himself. He thought he was invincible. No one can stop him. We are still in the slums. We're rich as hell, but we're still in the slums knocking down the ops. We still in the slums going nuts. Now, I hope if Young Thug does get out of this situation, if he does, that he leaves the streets alone after. That's just my opinion. I hope he doesn't go back. You dig? Slim says the streets don't love you. They don't. The streets are made to damage and destroy, champ. Respectfully. In all levels. Dig what I'm saying? Tracy Harris says Boosie tried to tell them once you make it, leave. Yeah, that's one thing Boosie did do. Boosie did make it very clear that you need to leave the hood when you make it. And you can't stay in the hood, because one thing that's going to happen is you either going to get knocked off or you're going to get locked up. Either or. You dig? Now, when Boosie went to jail, he went to jail for an honorable reason. You dig? When Boosie got locked up for that long period of time, he got locked up for an honorable reason. He smoked someone who was a Geppetto, okay? He got a Geppetto up out of here. He sent a Geppetto to the moon. Salute to Boosie for knocking off a Geppetto and, going through death row and all that. Salute to him, all right? That's an honorable crime he did, all right? Very honorable of him to put a Geppetto in the air, put a Geppetto in a blunt, okay? Good job, Boosie. If you don't know what a Geppetto is, champ, whatever it sounds like is what it is, okay? I promise. Treasure Man says this: the industry has been putting insurance on artists for years. Tina Turner's legs were insured for $1 million. Well, damn, I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that with me, because I never heard of that. Salute to you. Never heard that before. Double Zero says Showface Young Thug's ops didn't snitch on him, but his own homies did. Let that sink in, champ. Hey, champ, there's no love, okay? Some people are gonna fold. You seen what Gunna did. You seen what his own brother did. You seen what Gunna did. You see what a few other members of YSL actually did, all right? You seen that. You witnessed that, We all seen and witnessed that. Just to show you that there's no love and loyalty, champ. Everybody is not loyal enough to be doing that crazy time. They see these football numbers and they're like, hold on, champ, I have a testimony. You dig? They're like, oh, wait, champ, I'm not YSL, champ. In fact, YSL was just the letters in the alphabet soup we ate as kids. We don't know what YSL meant. We had YSL since he was 5 years old. We was eating alphabet soup. It just so happens that the last letters we had in the bowl was YSL. Yeah, champ, I'm not YSL. I'm not a gang member. You dig? That's what happens. Ain't no loyalty in no gangs, champ. Ain't no loyalty, champ. Niggas is gonna fold, champ. All right? Niggas is gonna be like, yeah, YSL, that was just alphabet soup we ate, champ. The YSL was just the last letters that happened to be in the bowl, Your Honor. Respectfully. Yeah, we don't know about YSL. We are not gang members. We were kids, champ. We were innocent. We just like the letters YSL. They go together, champ. They go together. Yeah. Okay, sure. I'm just saying. You dig? That's just what it is. Unfortunately, champ. You feel me? That's just what it is. Yes, we have over 300 in the building. Make sure you hit the like, share the video, gang. It's the mayor. Hit the like, share the video, champs. We are talking about if the Memphis Police Department was involved in the murder of Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook. But I'm going to play this again. Rick Ross had something to say to the city of Memphis. Rick Ross thinks he is going to help save Memphis from this treacherous time that they're in right now, because Memphis is about to be on fire. You dig? Rick Ross said this, champs. Hit the like button. This is what Rick Ross said.
Acknowledging the young leaders, the young kings, our young brothers. We got to empower the brothers. And while I'm speaking on this, our brothers in Memphis, I need y'all to know it's only one way to wisdom and wealth, and that's through each other. You understand? Through each other. Put the ski masks down, put the guns down. Let's embrace each other now. Let's show that love. Rest in peace to all our good brothers, man.
Yeah. So Rick Ross says, put the ski mask down, champs. No more ski masks, no more run-ups. Champ, I'm sorry to say this, and salute to Rick Ross for saying what he said, but champ, we have to be realistic about the city of Memphis, champ. It's bad right now. We have somebody named Macchio Millions, or my CEO Millions. I hope I'm saying it right, champ. They say I had the feds follow me around for 3 years, and I can 100% confirm that this white Explorer is one of the vehicles that they use the most with tinted windows. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. Maybe you have a point, champ. Maybe you have a point. There's so many layers sometimes to these crimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with young Dolph's passing, there were so many layers that had to be peeled back, because there was so many people that we believe to be involved with young Dolph's passing, right? Who knows what type of layers are involved with Big Jook's passing, if there's any layers at all. You dig? I'm just saying. Stay True says, Showface, not gonna lie, that picture of Big Jook is sad as hell. They shouldn't have released that, champ. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I didn't see the picture of Big Jook after the fact. I didn't see it. And I'm definitely not looking to see it neither. I mean, if I see it, it's going to be by accident. I don't really want to see things like that, champ. I'm not going to hold you. I'm not here to see nobody, who just got smoked. Especially when you seen it in real life, when you seen people get smoked in real time, you really not trying to see no more pictures of that shit. You dig? When you seen people get wet up in real time, you ain't really trying to look at no pictures of somebody getting wet up. Respectfully. I don't want to see pictures of nobody getting wet up. This is not Faces of Death, champ. Respectfully, this ain't that. If you want to watch Faces of Death, that's on you, gang. Respectfully. Slim says, Showface, is it true that some cops are behind some of these rappers? I don't know, gang. I don't know. It's a possibility, because again, Memphis got some dirty cops. I mean, everywhere has dirty cops. It's not just exempt to Memphis, but everywhere has dirty police. Feel what I'm saying? And we know that there's dirty police that was involved with the young Dolph situation and whatnot. We've been seeing dirty cops. Feel me? We've been seeing dirty cops. So that's nothing new under the sun. Feel me? Nothing new under the sun, bro. I'm gonna say that. But yeah, it's spooky out here is what I'm gonna say. It's very spooky, but Rick Ross. Great message. But the city of Memphis does not care. All right? It looks like a crash out season is amongst us. It looks like there's a crash out season amongst us, champ. I'm not gonna lie. Jerome Kennedy says facts. Think about it. CMG was already under investigation, so if Jook and Gotti in Memphis, it would be more likable if the feds was watching them. So I think MPD had something to do with it for real. Maybe. Perhaps. Also understand, one of Yo Gotti's relatives is one of the police chiefs in the MPD as well. All right? Just saying. I mean, I don't know how close their relationship is. You feel me? I don't know how close their relationship is. Treasure Man says, was it Rick Ross, a former correction officer? Yes, he was a former correction officer. But guess what, champ? Even though he's a former correction officer, Rick Ross is like that too. I ain't gonna lie. See, Here's things you don't know about Showface. Showface has connections to people who's connected to Rick Ross, champ. These are facts. Okay? I can 100% confirm that his correction officer experience does not take away from the fact that he was very much involved in street activity, champ. That's what I'm going to say. You know, there's narratives that have been painted based on the fact he was a correctional officer, but understand that correctional officers also can be gang members, also can be heavily involved in street activity. All correctional officers are not who you think they are. I will say that. You dig? Hello Word TV says, I was born in the late 80s and the most crazy-ish we seen was banned from TV. I think I only seen that a couple times. Jerome Kennedy says, data tell the feds everything about us. Data? Oh, okay. Ali says, true, lots of corrupt correction officers. Yeah. All correction officers ain't who you think they are. That's what I'm saying. You know, again, there's so many narratives. Like, for example, the narrative that Ja Morant is not a gangster is a lie. And some of y'all remember when I said the truth about Ja Morant. The only person who told the truth about Ja Morant was Skip Bayless, because Skip Bayless knows that Ja Morant is a part of the Rolling 60s Crips with his father, champ. You know, and if you know, you know. Some fool said that you're telling because you're saying that Ja Morant is Crip. Ja Morant never hid the fact that he was Rolling 60s Crip at all. Skip Bayless is the only one who told the truth. Because Skip Bayless know. You know what I'm saying? But Ja Morant is about that smoke. I'm going to keep it a G with you. Yeah, y'all might think otherwise, but I'm trying to tell you. Ja Morant is really that. All right? His father's Rolling 60s Crip, and he is a part of Rolling 60s Crip, champ. Facts. Don't believe everything you hear. Q says correctional officers brought me every phone I had in prison and the pack. Well, you know how the correction officers go. A lot of correctional officers are corrupt. Correction officers will set you up, or they'll make your life a little bit easier behind them bars. It depends, champ. You know, there's a lot of corruption. In fact, correctional officers are actually responsible for most of the deaths that take place behind bars across America, by the way. That's a statistic that's a fact. That's a factual statistic. Jerome Kennedy says, think about it, brother. They digital gang data, and that means they knew getting them was coming to Memphis. Govan knows about, bro, I could barely read what you're saying, champ. Salute to you, Jerome. I appreciate your comment, champ. But champ, I can't read that, gang. I can't read that. I'm sorry, champ. Hugh said a lot of them street dudes with a job. Shout out to the real COs. That's mules. Treasure Man says, I feel funny having a correction officer bring me a cell phone in prison. Well, I suggest you don't go there. I suggest you don't go to jail and go to prison. You dig? Santos Low says gangster gossiping, huh? If that's what you want to call it. If that's what you want to call it. You feel me? That's what you want to do. You dig? Seagate says our culture is lost. Imagine the money CMG and Pre could have made together, the structure they could have built to empower black money instead of killing our own. Listen, here's one thing I'm going to say about this whole black heaven that people want. Respectfully, there is no black heaven, shit. There is no black unity. There's barely a black community, shit. Respectfully, I'm gonna keep it a G with you. I understand where y'all coming from. Y'all want better. The black people. We gotta do better. This. That. Niggas hate niggas, champ. We are destroying. We are our own demise, bro. Black people are their own demise, bro. You understand? People get smoked for little things. You understand? There's people that lose their life just because somebody just was jealous of them, champ. And it happens all the time. All right? People get smoked for nothing, bro. You could say build all you want. There's no building with black people. Understand? I get it. Y'all want to have Black Wall Street again. I can promise you it's not happening. Build your own Wall Street. Okay, I don't want to crush nobody's dreams and all that. Build your own Wall Street, because guess what? These black folks do not care about you at all. You're gonna get finessed. You're gonna get snaked. All right, don't die trying to unite black folks. Okay, and I'm sure there's groups of black people that are united, but respectfully, all this, this black unity, the black heaven, the Black Wall Street, it already happened. It happened already, but there's too much damage with black folks for it to be what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it a G. I'm just keeping it. Let's be honest. G Boy Film says, not in Alabama, fam. Y'all saw it, that infamous white chair, peace and love. I mean, that was cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool that the black folks defended each other, but they don't have a business together now, do they? They didn't gather together to create nothing substantial, right? They gathered together to beat on some pale people, which is cool. I get it. That's fine, bro. Rightfully done. But them niggas will probably never see each other again. They just had a moment in internet history. You feel me? It's just a fact. I mean, you can talk all this black heaven nonsense. It ain't happening. Champs, it's not going down, man. It's too much trauma. There's too much things going on for black folks to unite. How y'all think. Just keep it in the being with y'all. You know what I'm saying? MLK had a dream, but not much turned into reality. Hey, MLK said he's afraid that he brought his people into a burning house too, by the way. MLK regretted his speech. You know that, right? How many of y'all know that MLK regretted the I Have a Dream speech? He said, I think I helped my people get into a burning house. Y'all remember that? I'm just saying, gang. I'm just saying, y'all, some of y'all know that. Okay? Crypto NY says, all that no snitching street code crap is over. The streets is dead. White people still have the power. Nobody aggresses them. You either on the right side or the wrong side. Right or wrong, period. Hey, champ, I don't believe specifically that any race has a power of any kind over me, champ. You dig? I'm a firm believer that I have all the power. Now you know, if you believe that, that's cool. Me, don't nobody run nothing over here except me, champ. I'm just gonna keep it 1,000 with you, gang. You dig? That's just me, though. You know, if you think that the white folk run everything and they have all the power, that's on you. I know a lot of rich black people. I know a lot of black people that's doing very, very well, shit, in this country. There's some black folks that are living very, very comfortably, okay? It's by choice, though. Some people don't want to live comfortable. Some people want to be in the streets and want to be rich at the same time. Dig? Seagate says the government designed a false illusion and it worked. You're right. Ain't no saving our culture. The damage is done. The damage has been done a long time ago. You dig? The damage has been done a long time ago. You dig? It is what it is. I mean, listen, at this point, you try to build with some black folks, you're going to get backdoored, fam. You're going to get backdoored. I want you to know that. You try and do everything right, and guess what happens? Y'all remember Shanquella Robinson? Do y'all remember Shanquella Robinson? Y'all remember that story of Shanquella Robinson, the girl who got smoked out there? What was they, in Mexico or something? She brought all her friends. She paid for the flights. She paid for everything. And for some reason, some way, somehow, her friends ultimately led her to her demise and left her there in Mexico. Y'all remember that story, right? I'm just saying, if you need more proof, look at that story. All right? Timmy Jones says, I Have a Dream speech was written by other people. That's why he said he regretted the speech. Well, he shouldn't have read it. My opinion. Top G Network fact. Yeah, gang. Come on. You know what I mean? Jerome Kennedy says black people have no power for real because they have certain control over us. Ain't nobody got no control over me, Chin. Ain't nobody have no control over me. Salute to you. Nobody of any skin tone got no control over nothing over here. I promise. In fact, how about this? I've had some pale people do some great things for me in the past. Let me say that. There's been some pale people that have helped me in a lot of ways. I'm gonna say that. But honestly though, I mean, if you believe that, you know, white folks is just controlling everything and all that, you are sadly mistaken. You're gonna have to explore the world for a second, gang. I ain't gonna lie. There's some very wealthy, rich black folks that's doing very well out here, gang. You know, perception is a lot of black folks are suffering and doing bad to a degree, but everybody ain't suffering and doing bad. Don't let it fool you. There's some people doing very well, Chin. People doing real estate and all that, traveling the world constantly. People are doing all types of things, Chin. People are making all types of money and living luxuriously, Chin. Don't believe. Don't believe what you see, Chin, on TV and online. You got to see the world, Chin. You got to experience the world. There's all type of people out here doing well, you know, who's not of that specific background. Treasure Man says my block is dead over since they opened the country back up. It seems like everybody went inside, nobody came back out. Yeah, there's some blocks like that where it's dead. I do agree. Since the pandemic, some people have fell into the pandemic mindset of, yeah, I'm not coming back outside ever again, by the way. You know what I'm saying? You dig? Crypto and Wild says, even here, bro, I love all people, but the structure of America is in their hands. They can let control our minds through what? But they invest generational money in our demise. Hey, Champ, I'm gonna be real with you. Everybody puts money into your demise. You know why? Because it's constant warfare, bro. There's warfare on all levels. The main warfare is mental warfare. I'm gonna tell you right now, the biggest warfare right now is against men. The biggest warfare right now in the world is against men, bro. Trust me. Anything from an OnlyFans to X-rated film is war against men, champ. Those things alone will throw off somebody from being as great as they can possibly be. The only warfare is throwing you off your game and purpose, to be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. You know, any investment into your demise is being done by all races, bro. It ain't just so-called, you know, white folks doing it. Your own people are investing into your demise too, champ. Just so you know. Main biker says 3 weeks after the Montgomery Balls, some rednecks ran down and off a black boy. They made sure to get revenge right there in Alabama. I didn't hear about that. And yes, you're 100% right. There's even warfare with food, Chip. There's food warfare, gang. Ain't that crazy? They go warfare with the food. Things that you consume are also a part of warfare in this country, Chip. It's crazy, ain't it? I know. I mean, Hello World TV said Jadakiss said it's hard to win the war when the battle was uphill. It's true, champ, but hey, there's warfare of all types going on, champ. Like I said, the biggest warfare is you actually reaching your highest potential in life. That's the biggest warfare, I promise. You know, how do you know it's not warfare? How do you know it's not a warfare tactic for you to be worried about a whole group of people? Don't you think it's a warfare tactic to make people think that a certain group of people are running things to keep you from, you know, reaching as high as you can be? That's also a warfare tactic, just so you know. To have a certain mindset is a warfare tactic. To have the mindset that some group of people is running your life is a warfare tactic, bro. Facts. You dig? Yeah, make sure y'all get them likes up. But yeah, gang, it's all type of warfare, bro. There's warfare on multiple levels to stop you from your progression in life, bro. This is how the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor for a reason. You got all types of warfare, bro. But trust me, believing that there's a group of people that's hindering you from greatness is a warfare tactic. You know what I'm saying? That's a warfare tactic as well, just so you know. You had all types of warfare. I mean, all types. Mental is first. It only gets you mentally. Sometimes you are your own worst enemy too at the same time. Did you know that? A lot of people are their own worst enemy. Maybe the warfare tactic is coming from you at times too, at the same time, Chin. People who do things like self-sabotage and whatnot. Yeah, that's warfare tactics on yourself. Most times you're your own worst enemy. Majority of the time. You know what I'm saying? If you could convince yourself not to do something great, yeah, you pretty much are a demise to yourself because you're self-sabotaging yourself from greatness. You dig? That's what I'm saying. Keep that in mind. But yeah, gang, it's a wild time. Rick Ross trying to save Memphis is a very failed attempt. I ain't gonna lie, champ. Rick Ross, Memphis did not hear you. They are dead. Memphis heard nothing. Memphis didn't hear nothing you said, champ. I promise. They didn't hear a damn thing in Memphis. They didn't even see what you said. They blind. They blind and deaf to everything you said. You know what I'm saying? Etc. says, I came in on a comment. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. Never heard that news. Me neither. You dig? I'm just saying. Prophecy says Memphis ain't hearing that. You damn right they ain't heard nothing. They don't peace. Rick Ross, do not come to Memphis, champ. Rick Ross, hear me out. Don't come to Memphis. It's not in your best interest, champ. They gonna get mad. Bro, they gonna be so mad. Bro, you know, people gonna get mad at you for preaching peace in a time of war. They gonna be upset. James, put down the ski mask. Let's build together as a people. Yeah, no, champ. No. They're gonna get you up out of here, champ. Brothers and sisters, let's hold hands and be great. No, champ. Champ, you're gonna end up on a t-shirt. Did you know that, champ? They ain't hearing you. They ain't hearing you, man. You dig? They ain't hearing you, gang. Respectfully. They don't want to hear none of that holy matrimony you got, gang. These people want smoke. You heard? They want smoke. Real talk. You know what I mean? Prophecy says, what Gotti is to North Memphis is what Dolph was to South Memphis. They cut off South Memphis pipeline to the industry. Them boys want blood. Man, it's about to get real crazy out there in the city of Memphis, champ. Memphis is a wild place. Jerome Kennedy says, why you think they killed whistleblower? Because they don't want certain information to come out. I don't know who the whistleblower is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who the whistleblower is. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say, champ. You know. But enough about this race talk, champ. This situation has nothing to do with race at all. This situation got to do with Young Dolph and Gotti beef. Respectfully. I don't think we even get to this point without Young Dolph and Gotti beefing. Respectfully. That's how we get to this. We don't even this doesn't exist without Yo Gotti and Dolph beef, champ. Respectfully. You dig? Jumaine Dale says tricky out here in Memphis, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Crypto and Juan says the last person they want to hear from is a rapper that glorifies the very behavior that got both of them dudes murked. I mean, they don't even care about that, bro. They just mad that somebody's trying to give a positive speech in a time of war. Rick Ross is preaching against the warfare while Memphis wants the warfare. They want smoke. They want us mask up. They want to do the drills. They want to put niggas in a blunt. They trying to get smoke. They are bloodthirsty. Yo Gotti right now might be in crash out mode, champ. Yo Gotti right now might be planning to crash out different. Allegedly. Let's say alleged. Yo Gotti might be planning to crash out different. Nobody heard what Rick Ross said. They ignored it. You did? Real talk. Except allegedly, I heard it was over Gotti baby mama who Dolph slept with. Well, that was one reason. Young Dolph also did not want to sign to CMG. Young Dolph also was offered a better deal than Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti was jealous of Young Dolph, bro. Because Young Dolph was not like everybody else. Young Dolph was independent. Young Dolph wasn't trying to sign to the label. He was trying to create his own label. He was trying to do his own thing. And people didn't like that. Yo Gotti didn't like that. Yo Gotti was envious of him, okay? He did sleep with the man's baby mother. Yes, he did do that. He also dissed Yo Gotti, and it was a hit record. Don't play with me, play it with your beat, champ. I remember those times. A certified hood classic, by the way. He did. Crypto NY says nobody wants to hear about cancer while smoking a cig. Hey, there's a lot of cigs out there in Memphis, if you catch my drift, by the way. If you know what type of cig I'm referring to. You dig? If you know what cig I'm referring to, champ. And we ain't talking about the ones that you put in your mouth. Child Baby says, I don't think it's a coincidence that Jook got took out right after the police lady got denied her job. Well, you make a very good point. You make a very good point with that, gang. I ain't gonna lie. Prophecy says there's multiple reasons. It's stimulated from hatred and a woman, fair to say. It's always about a woman, right? Like, the beefs always are surrounded by a woman. It was always a woman involved. Always something that got to do with a female, right? Most times. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Jerome Kennedy says the industry know Dolph had major stuff going on because he was educated to a certain business in the industry. They didn't want him to have, and wait, they didn't want him to have ND Gotti already signed the paper, so Gotti no. It's hard to read that last part, but I get what you're trying to say. I'm not gonna hold you. Treasure Man says, was he the one dating Angela Simmons for a while? He's still dating Angela Simmons. He's still dating Angela Simmons. Now, the crazy thing about Angela Simmons is her baby father got smoked in the streets. Angela Simmons' baby father actually got smoked in the streets. It's ironic. Angela Simmons has a history of dating guys from the streets, champ. She likes street niggas, apparently. Okay? Now, Yo Gotti is very successful in music and whatnot, but still at the same time, will always be a street nigga. Angela Simmons loves guys from the street. Her baby father got smoked in these streets. You dig? A baby father got smoked in these streets. Now, as far as Angela Simmons is concerned, you know, he might want to take a step back for a minute. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. Another thing is, if whoever gets caught for doing what they did to Big Jook, there's going to be a big RICO. There's going to be a huge RICO taking place. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a huge RICO taking place. All right? Real it as it gets says it's a fake relationship. She wants the clout chaser. Perhaps. Treasure Man says, but I heard they broke up. He dumped her. Is that true? I didn't hear about it. I heard they were still together. That's what I heard. I don't personally know if they did together or not. I don't know. I have no idea. Not gonna lie. He was smoked in his garage. Ugh. Yeah, gang, like Angela Simmons has a history of loving street niggas. That's what she likes. You dig? Joseph Young says music companies have to put insurance on their clients for when you crash out. Really, it says it's the truth. I know the facts. Hey, champ. If you know, you know. Okay. If that's what you know, champ. Prophecy says, I don't think they will find the killers. That was tactical movements. I mean, I think they will, depending on. It might take a minute. Remember, when it came to Young Dolph, it took a minute. The internet helped the Memphis Police Department solve the case. Let's be honest. The internet literally helped the Memphis Police Department investigate the case. Let's be real. The internet failed investigating who smoked Takeoff. The internet failed miserably trying to figure out who smoked Takeoff. There was so many people being accused, so much so that an innocent person ended up going to jail because the internet thought that this person was the one who smoked Takeoff. And the reason the internet failed so bad when Takeoff died is because the videos that were being shown were so grainy and trash and low quality that nobody could actually decipher what was actually going on the video, because that's how terrible the quality of the video was. The only people with access to clear quality of the footage that took place at that bowling alley in Houston was the Houston Police Department, right? And I was preaching that from the very beginning, but people was just so anxious and serious, like, no, Champ, we seen what we saw on that low quality video. You're not saying the truth, Champ. We seen what we saw. What y'all saw wasn't what y'all saw, though. You did? People was trying to make sense of videos that was just terribly put together, Champ. You dig? Precious says, if they weren't together anymore, she wouldn't have been with him yesterday. That's what I'm saying. I didn't hear about Angela Simmons and Yo Gotti breaking up. I never heard about that. I heard that they were still together. Not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Prophecy says, if they serious about it, it will take about 6 months to development a person of interest. Jook had more than one group of enemies, of course. You know, Jook was the J Prince of Memphis, bro. Jook is the reason and the muscle behind CMG because he's the investor. Jook passed away at 50 years old. He was 50 years old, still out here in these streets, and they was waiting for him, bro. Jook felt so comfortable. He was at the repast. He was at the funeral. Even before the funeral, he was at the wake. He was there for long periods of time. He was there long enough for somebody to make a play. He was there long enough for somebody to make a call, for somebody to put a hit out on him. He was there so long. He was there for a long period of time for people to be prepared to do a drill. That's all I know. He made himself very accessible. He was moving as if there was no wrong that could actually come his way. That's just the honest truth. You know what I'm saying? Crazy enough, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Etc. said it was very much edited by TMZ, that Takeoff video. They tried, but the video was just too grainy and low quality for you to make out what actually happened. That's why the police did their investigations and they found the person who really hit Takeoff. And that same person that hit Takeoff is currently not in jail. By the way, he's a free man. Okay? That's true. LaShonda Rogers says the feds was absolutely watching the ins and outside of that funeral. They wasn't watching hard enough. Prophecy says, if I'm a millionaire, I need retired police and armed guards, at least 6. To be fair, even if you have all of these guards, it doesn't even promise you protection. I mean, you can have all of that and still be in danger, champ. Crazy enough, you could still be in danger with all of that there. Unfortunately, just saying. Sharonda Ray says, I have a question. This is salt therapeutic. Oh, she said this is so therapeutic. Oh. I see what you said. What's the question, though? You say you have a question. LaShawn Devon just says, Las Vegas Eric was a very well-known big topper in Memphis. They just don't give a damn about that. Yeah, man. Make sure y'all hitting that like button, too. Get them likes together. But going through these comments, man, it's interesting. Prophecy says, that is true, too, though. When you get caught off guards, it's raps. The element of surprise. Yeah, gang. That's how it goes. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. But Rick Ross, Memphis don't want to hear what you got to say. And if I'm you, I wouldn't even visit Memphis, champ. Stay far away from Memphis. The city of Memphis is going through some nonsense right now. And It's about to heat up. It's getting ugly. The crash dummies have been awakened. The crash dummies have awakened from their slumber, and they're ready to go to hell, champ. To hell right now. They ready to go to hell, champ. The demons have awakened from their slumber, and they are ready for smoke. You did? I'm just saying. Hello World TV says Jook had more hood relationships with the passing uncle. That's why he was more around so long, because of their age. Interesting. This man says it's sad that you got to keep your head on a swivel even at a funeral. Hey, funeral shootings happen way more than we actually know. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy part. I'm gonna get to a few more comments. Prophecy says everybody that is not on CMG and Pre needs to sit this one out. It's serious in Memphis right now. Well, allegedly Pre had nothing to do with it. Allegedly, they said this is the workings of what you call a True Mafia. This is the workings of other people, allegedly. That's what they're trying to say. So who knows, to be honest, who honestly knows? And etc. says only people who need a lot of security guards is those who move in the wrong traffic. Fair enough, but listen here, gang. Respectfully, it's the mayor, the one and only real New York Mayor F. Eric Adams. You rocking with the town favorite Showface News. It's Big Gotham, and you already know it's the town versus everybody at all times. Make sure you hit the like button, share the video. You let me know how you feel in the comments, because this is crazy right now. Who do you think is responsible for Big Jook getting smoked, and do you think Rick Ross is bugging? Let me know in the comment section here. But y'all hit the like button and share the video on your way out. We got a lot more content to come. There's so much going on. I'll be back with more development soon, but you already know our public service announcement, and that's to make sure that you stop playing. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, gang, respectfully. But I'm about it here, gang. We got more content to come. Salute to the chat. Let's get it. Come on. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.